गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुज बिहारी हे गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुज बिहारी हे गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनतीरा वनचारी राधा माधव कुज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरानिता जय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल जय गौरा हरि बोल जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल मयपुर चंद्र गौर हरि हरि बिहारी गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामाई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। Thy go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, Glories, 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 Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामे नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे. Thank you very much for joining. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 1, Questions by the Sages, verse number 20. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram cheva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Nasta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhakti bhavati naistiki. Hare Om Tat Sat. Chapter 1, Canto 1, Chapter 1, verse number 20, Part 2. We read before, Part 1. So, Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena kesavaha Adimatyani bhagavan guda kapatamanushaha. Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena kesavaha Adimatyani bhagavan guda kapatamanushaha. Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena kesavaha Adimatyani bhagavan guda kapatamanushaha. Word translation. Kritavan, done by, kila, what, karmani, acts, saha, along with, ramena, balarama, Keshava, Sri Krishna, Atimatyani, superhuman, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Guda, masked as, Kapata, apparently, Manusha, human being. Translation by Divya Desi Bhakti Vedanta Samsya Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balarama, played like a human being, and so, masked, he performed many superhuman acts. We'll repeat. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, along with Balarama, played like a human being, and so, masked, he performed many superhuman acts. Om Ajnanatamandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Nagayate Girim Yatkrupa Tamham Vande Sri Gurum Devataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hari Om Tat Sat. So, we are in this first chapter, Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 1, Questions by the Sages. Sonaka and other rishis assembled in Naimisharanya asking questions to Sutta Goswami. So far 5 questions are over. What is the ultimate good for the people in general? And what is the essence of all the scriptures? Which we discussed. The first one, the question is talking about the process of Bhagavad Gita, the process of Bhakti Yoga. Then the second, talking about what is the essence of all scriptures, talking about the holy name, Nama. And then the third question they asked about the Rupa. Why did Krishna appear in the womb of Mother Devaki? That is Nama Rupa. Then they asked the fourth and fifth questions, previous verses 16 and 17. They asked about please explain and narrate the past tense incarnations of Supreme Lord Leela Avtaras. and others, and also Gunavataras. So that comes under Nama, Rupa, and Guna and Leela. So now the last question is remaining, which is in the last verse of this chapter 23rd. So we are in verse number 20, where this verse is describing, talking about Parikshit Maharaj is very eager. Same way here, Sukadev, Saunaka and other rishis are very eager to understand and know, because Saman Bonam, the Vishaya, the actual Ashraya. Vishaya also, yeah. Vishaya and Ashraya is the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, so that's why they are coming to the point of the actual subject matter. So they are asking here about Kritavan Kala Karmani Saha Ramena Kesava. So we discussed about Lord Balram's glories. So Lord Balram's glories in the previous class, part 1, because in this verse specifically Saha Ramena Kesava. Rama is Balarama, and then Kesava is Krishna. So that's what we'll discuss about today. I couldn't take the class last week for Janmashtami week. It was so busy. Couldn't take, so sorry about that. But we'll discuss today. So here, Kritavan Kala Karmani Saha Ramena Kesava Ati Matyani Bhagavan Guda Kapata Manusha. So the important point is about the what exactly this karma. That is one thing important. Kala Karmani. We'll understand with examples. In relation with Supreme Lord and in relation with the living entity Jiva, and this in the material nature, how this karma is working. And then Ramena, and he also mentioned how the Lord is also externally acting like a human being. Like in a drama or in a movie, you will see that person is playing a particular role. So he is wearing a particular dress, particular makeup, particular getup. So same way Krishna is also acting like ordinary human, seemingly, externally. But he is never material. That we will discuss. So that's why it is very important. Ati Matyani. Matya. Where we are in earthly planet, it is called Matya Loka. Where the human beings live, ordinary human beings. So Ati Matyani means superhuman acts. Ati Matyani Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Krishna and Balaram, what kind of superhuman acts they perform? Can you describe in detail? So that's what they are asking here, Saunaka and other rishis. So this is after the Nama, Rupa and Guna Leela. Because much more, they are going deep into the actual Leela of Krishna and Balaram. That's what they want to understand. Because that's where the actual subject matter, that is obviously described in the whole 10th canto. That is the biggest canto. 4 volumes, 4 books are there out of 17 or 18 big books. 4 books are specifically 10th canto. Verses wise also, out of all the cantos, 10th canto has so many verses. Much more, I don't remember the exact count. 18,000 verses, Srimad Bhagavatam. That specific canto has at least, I think, 3,000 verses or so. 90 plus chapters. So, imagine. So now we will understand. So what exactly is this karma? Kritavan Kala Karmani Saha Ramena Kesava. So first let's understand Supreme Lord's activities. So as per the scriptures, Svetasvatara Upanishad, Svetasvatara Upanishad 6.8, we mentioned Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate Parasya Shaktir Vivadaiva Sruyate Svabhavaki Gnana Bala Kriyasa Natasya Karyam Karanam Cha Vidyate. So Lord has so many multifarious energies, and he doesn't have any activity to perform. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Sruyate. So many energies. He is the energetic. From him energies are coming. With a Swabhavaki and Gnanabala, everything. All these energies, he has the full strength, he understands everything, all the characteristics, he is coming. So he is exhibiting all the full characteristics because he is the self. Krishna himself is the original of all the incarnation, all the energies, everything. Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. And nobody is above him, nobody is equal to him. And Natasya Karyam Karanancha Vidyate. And there is no work assigned for him. So whatever work we see, that the creation of the material world, the destruction, the maintenance, that his agencies are doing. So the creation is only glancing, that also Mahavishnu is doing the glancing. and is not even directly touched, that Lord Shiva is coming into picture. The glance is transferred from Karana of the Sai Vishnu is called Mahasankarshan. The Krishna's expansion, Balram's first expansion is first quadruple expansion, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha was in the Golok Vrindavan. That first Sankarshan is called Mola Sankarshan from the first quadruple. And then from that Sankarshan, Mola Sankarshan comes Lord Narayan. From Lord Narayan again second quadruple who are in the rest of the Vaikuntha planets, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna. That second Sankarshan is called Mahasankarshan. First one is called Mola Sankarshan. Second one is called Mahasankarshan. So that from Mahasankarshan is coming the Purusha avatars, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, and Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. They are called Purusha because the actual creation is happening through them. So the Karanodaka Sai Vishnu is glancing, so that glance is transferred. He is sending the time factor along with the glance, and through Ramadevi is Mahavishnu's consort Ramadevi, and getting transferred to Durga Devi and also Lord Shiva. So they actually, in essence, they are taking the care of the actual creation, and the Brahma is doing the secondary creation. And then the destruction is also done by Lord Shiva through Ananda Devi. Again, all the powers, everything is coming from Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. Without that, neither Brahma can do anything, nor Lord Shiva can do, nor Durga Devi. No one can do anything, any activity. So that is it's all coming from the Supreme Lord. So Natasya Karyam, but he doesn't have that. So actual Krishna, the original person, he doesn't have any duty to perform. Natasya Karyam Karanancha Vidyate. But what he does, his activity is only simply engage in wonderful pastimes. These various personalities, the cohort boys in the Santara, Sakyaras, or in the Vatsalyaras, which is Yashoda and Nanda and Yashoda, Devaki, Vasudeva, all the elderly gopis, and also in Dwaraka, like that. So, and Madhuras with cohort damsels of Vrindavan and then Dwaraka and Mathura in that way. So we see in this way, so Krishna is engaging in this Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavit Avis Tavirya Eva Nijarupataya Kravi Goloka Eva Nivasate Akilatmu. He is situated in Goloka. That's why in chapter 9 Krishna is mentioning, I am there, and the material energy, this material world, everything, I am the source. I am there in each and every atom. But at the same time, I am not there. He is telling, Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyaktam murtina. Na chaham tesha avastha. Mastani bhutani. I am there in each and every atom, and each and every living entity as super soul. But na chaham tesha avasthita. At the same time, I am not there. Where I am situated in Golok Vrindavan. So my expansions through different agencies, things are working. Because super soul is only in material world. So the real personality is there in the Golok Vrindavan. Is performing wonderful pastimes in Golok Vrindavan with various associated, various degrees, various levels, various rasas. That's why we have to understand this Bhakti Tattva. So this whole Bhakti Yoga process of these 10 steps from Adav Shraddha, strengthening faith, associating with devotee, Bhajana Kriya, Adav Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota, Bhajana Kriya, then Anartha Nivrutti. Then Nishtha and Ruchi, Asakti and Bhava and Krishna. These are the 8 to 10 steps for a practitioner to follow step by step. That is the Bhakti Tattva. But then we have to understand also these rasas. Rasa Tattva. Where Krishna is hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. So we are talking about Bhakti Tattva and Rasa Tattva. Rasa Tattva, this Santara, Dasyaras, Aksaras, Santa, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhur. These 5. If you look at an introduction of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada is mentioning. These are the 5 primary rasas. So this is the Rasa Tattva. And the elaborate descriptions are there in Nectar Devotion Part 2 and from 20th chapter about these different rasas at detailed level. And Brahat Bhagavatam explains also at at another level, how these different grades of devotees in these different rasas, how they perform their leelas and activities with the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is very important to understand Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Mukti Tattva, the liberation, Jiva Tattva, the living and what is our position, Ishwara Tattva, Supreme Lord, Maya Tattva, and Shiva Tattva. So many, all these detailed aspects, at least we should understand at a high level. Then as we read on, as we hear, keep on hearing, then we understand. When we have full understanding of all these aspects, then it allows us to surrender. It allows us to understand the full perspective. Who is the supreme shelter? Who is the supreme object? What is exactly the supreme goal of life? So that is why it is important to know, at least at high level. Then while we become mature, then we will be able to go in detail and understand. Every time we get new thoughts, new understandings as we read on. Anyway, now going back to, so we understood now that Krishna doesn't have any activity to perform, but still as a leader he wants to establish, he also performs activities. Like as it is mentioned, Ati Matyani Bhagavan. It is mentioned, Krutavan, 1120, we are reading, Krutavan Kila Karmani Saha Ramena Keshava, Ati Matyani Bhagavan, Guda Kavata Manusha. Just like the actor playing a role, Krishna is also acting like ordinary human being, seemingly, externally. But he doesn't have any material body, neither material intelligence, material mind, material. It's all spiritual, it's all transcendental. Nothing material about his form or activities or birth, nothing. So that's why he doesn't have any activity to perform, but still he is coming down and performing from Golok Vrindavan, whatever he is performing is coming down into Bhauma Vrindavan, which is on this material world. Which is Vrindavan is close to Delhi, and that's where Krishna appeared. So Bhauma Vrindavan, there he performed this similar pastime. Some pastime we may not see in actual in Golok Vrindavan, some pastime only we see. May see here. So he is performing this wonderful pastime, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, blissful pastime which gives eternal happiness to him, to give the joy and with the various rasas, and also is exchanging those rasas. Whoever is coming in touch and part of those pastime or seeing or hearing or directly being part of that pastime are getting so much blissful and joy. And for that to be part of, for us to be part, for any living entity to be part, they must have so much pious credit, not ordinary pious credit. Ordinary pious credit is fruitive activities. And there is pious and impious. For both the things, we have to come back in this life and take up again human body or any other species and enjoy. For the pious and for the impious, we have to suffer. That is the difference. That we will go detail about the karma. Karma means fruitive activities. As per the scripture and injunction, when we perform, it is called activity, karma. But then when we don't perform following the rules and regulations, following the injunction shastra, it is called vikarma, means against the instructions, against the rules and regulations given in the shastra for a human being. It is called vikarma, means against. Then, but when we perform activity in relation with Krishna, then it is called akarma, means where there is no bondage. So that we will go in detail. So where we are discussing about this, for the living entity to enter into the actual being part of the pastime, like Vrindavan Vasis, all of them, they perform so much heaps of pious credit, not ordinary pious credits, but on the akarma level, not a 1 or 2 day. It is called Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti. There is ordinary Sukruti, there is the Sukruti and Duskruti, which is pious, and Duskruti means who have performed impious activities, irreligious activities, sinful activities. They are called Duskruti. And then within that Sukruti, then there is a ordinary Sukruti, then you have Moksha Unmukha Sukruti, which is people are looking after liberation, merging on to the Brahman effulgence, further liberation, mukti, that is other types of liberation. Then you have further than that is Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti. You are trying to develop a relation with Krishna, with Bhakti, the devotion, with love for Krishna. That is called Bhakti. So in that Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti, these cohort boys, cohort girls, elderly gopis, all the cows, all the personalities, whoever we see in the Bhauma Vrindavan, were part of these Krishna's pastimes. They performed so much heaps of pious credits of Bhakti Unmukha Sukruti. So that's why they are able to participate, being in that. So being in those positions at different rasas, it is mentioned. Itam sakam brahma sakanu puchya dasyam gatanam paradaivatena maya sritaram naragarakenam sakham vijahu krata punya punja. So much heaps of pious credit they perform. That's why they are able to see Krishna, they are able to enjoy, play, do so many things with Krishna, eat with Krishna. So this is the understanding of different Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, Leela Tattva. So now coming back to the karma. So Krishna doesn't have any activity to perform, but still he is performing like ordinary human being, seemingly. Now coming back to the understanding, the example we'll give is Prabhupada explains for this karma, vikarma and akarma. So the living entities are being conditioned because they are performing karma, they are thinking by feeding poor people or by giving education to others. They may think, or they themselves, they are going to temple or they are worshipping demigods or they are doing some religious activity. They are expecting something in return. That is all coming under fruitive activities. As per the religious process, as per the scripture injunction, they are following some type of worship. May not be the highest process, but they are following. That is coming under, but that causes bondage. That causes bondage, because again and again we have to appear in this material world and suffer and enjoy the consequences. So that's why then we have to understand, go above that. So that's why we have to follow the process given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna is explaining this akarma, which means in relation, everything we perform is in relation with Krishna, where the example is given that we follow the traffic, we cross, we see the signal, traffic signal, the green light, red light and yellow light, at least the green and red. So it is represented as different modes. One way to look at mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Mode of goodness means somebody is going in a green signal, following the rules, following the Shastra injunctions in different ways, in terms of the eating habit, in terms of their austerity, in terms of the sacrifices, in terms of the charity. There are different levels. All these are categorized in three modes. Because otherwise anybody can perform austerity, anybody can perform sacrifice, but it can give different results. Because depending on which mode he is operating on, with which consciousness he is performing these, the charity, the austerity, the sacrifice, so all these things. So the green light is a mode of goodness. Green light also means this karma, fruitive activities. He is following the rules as per scriptures he is doing. So that is green light. And then when you look at the red light, which is vikarma, which means against the religious principles, against Shastra. I like to do whatever I like. Things are given. I have whatever I have. This is for my own enjoyment. I work so hard. Why shouldn't I enjoy? This is my money. This is my everything. This is mine. So in that way, so that is a mode of ignorance. So you may cross over red light. Who cares? We see that in many times. They may not get caught because they can be cheated in this material world. They can cheat the government or the police, all the people. But to the Supreme Lord or the demigods, they cannot cheat. They cannot cheat the material nature. Karmana daiva netrena jantor deho upapatvaye. This body is given exactly based on what activity we have performed in the past life and this life. And he is looking. He cannot even miss 1 second from Krishna's observance. As Super Soul is there, is watching, and demigods, they are in charge. Different departments are also watching what exactly we are doing. And the different bodies, bodily parts, everything, our eyes to legs to hands, everything is controlled pretty much. So the free will is there, but how we utilize it accordingly, the controlling will happen by the demigods. So if we have performed too much simple activity, then everything more and more will be controlled. There may be, because there will be some pious credit, so that's why some time period we may enjoy nicely, but then automatically difficulties also will come because of the impious credits are also, it's a mixed bag of things we are bringing from past life. So that's why we have to be careful what activities we do in our life, so that our future can be bright, at least we will get human birth, better family, better situation, better knowledge, better intelligence, better mindset, better consciousness. All this will help, in future lives. Ultimately, we should get a spiritual body, not a human body again, into this material world. But at least, if not the case, we should strive for a better than what we are today. So the red light is the vikarma, which is against religious principles. Then we suffer the consequences. And the green light is the karma, fruitive activity as per the scriptures, following the rules. And and there is, yellow light is almost like you are very close to, hit red light. You are close to follow the irreligious principles. But sometimes we get agitated, ready to jump on to ready to act, but somehow or the other we are restricted. We didn't perform. But sooner or later, more and more we get absorbed to these material things, more and more agitated. Then we may end up crossing the red light. We may end up into the vikarma. So that's what green, red, and yellow. But above these modes is like the police superintendent. The ordinary living entities go through this, right? But the superintendent of police or any from police department, when they go, what will happen? Ambulance or medical people, emergencies, they all go through. For them, green, red, yellow doesn't matter. They can go anytime. For them, there is no restrictions. Whether for the Supreme Lord or for those who are following the karma, so then there is no reaction. There is no reaction. So for them, neither good nor bad. It is nullified. So there is no bondage. They don't incur. They don't need to come back to this material world when they perform. It is called akarma. So that is like, and when the Supreme Lord comes into this material world, it is mentioned, na karmani limpanti na karma pale spruha. Iti mam yo abhijanati karma virna sabhadyate. Krishna is mentioning in 4th chapter, 14th verse, I think, Transcendental Knowledge chapter. So, na karmani limpanti. Na karmani. First of all, I don't have any activity to perform. Na karmani limpanti. And na karma pale. Neither I accept, neither I am attached to the results. I am not expecting any result. First of all, I don't have a duty to perform any activity, nor I am attached to the results. I am not expecting any result, nor attached to the results. So, na karmani limpanti, na karma palayasva. The living entity, those who understand this about my nature, itimam yo abhijanati, one who knows, one who understands, karma virna sabhadyate. They will not also be bound in this material world, in these 3 modes of material nature. So that's what we understand from the Supreme Lord. Same way, the devotees also, those following the same example of Supreme Lord's instruction, performing the akarma, so thinking that everything, whatever, every activity, even the seemingly material, brushing the teeth, shaving, everything, because when the human body is given, then we have to perform this activity to keep the body clean. So that also in relation with Krishna, I want to perform my activity, I want to keep my thoughts clean, mind clean, heart clean, then everything must be clean. Our mirror has to be clean. If it is dusty, we cannot see ourselves. So that's more. And so when we, as we can see, just like when we decorate ourselves, we see in the mirror, same way, when we decorate the Supreme Lord, when we follow the Supreme Lord's instructions, then automatically we automatically become saintly, like the Supreme Lord, our mini God. We become godly, we become saintly. Natural qualities will develop because we are decorating, we are serving, we are trying to serve, we are seeing everything in relation with Krishna. We are always thinking of Krishna in day-to-day life. So that way, then automatically we become saintly. That becomes akarma. So that is first the karma aspect. Now coming back to the next line, which is mentioned. Hopefully you understood. The another also in the same context we can see is that in the beginning of bhakti yoga process, because we are not perfect at akarma level, we may perform mix of other things also as we go through the bhakti yoga process, especially in the beginning, neophyte stage. In the beginning stage, Radha Siddha, Tata Sadhana, Bhajana Kriya, stage also. So we may not perform exactly akarma everyday basis. So we may perform other karma or vikarma also. So it is like Prabhupada explains that also as a mango. Initially the green mango is there. Green mango at the beginning stage, very small. It will be a little bit bitter. It is not sweet. So it is not palatable, so much palatable. But same way, so that when we try to follow the process of chanting and coming to temple or hearing, reading, so mechanically, we don't get any enthusiasm, we don't get any taste. So it is not really sweet. We are not relishing anything out of it. So that is like the green mango. But we all know the green mango at some point, as it goes to the stages, natural stages, like the bhakti stages, we go in the association of devotees. Same way when the green mango, the mango tree is nicely taken care with the proper watering, proper whatever it needs, sometimes pesticide, whatever it needs to be taken care, protected. Then naturally the green mango will become riper and riper and riper, finally fully ripened. The sweetest, it becomes sweetest. Mango is the king of the fruits. So that the same way, so our bhakti also, in the beginning, it is like a green mango in a small green mango. So that it will not be so palatable. But as it becomes more and more medium ripe and ripe and ripe, and we are getting taste relishing. Especially now, also lately, we are getting the mangoes. We are relishing. We can see how much tasty it is. So the same way, so our bhakti also can be become tasty. We can become really relish the rasa in chanting and hearing and doing any type of devotions, any form of devotion service. It is a matter of our consciousness, matter of our absorption, matter of our thought process, consciousness with which we are doing it. It's all about that. So now, so going back to this verse, continuing, Kritavan kila karmani saha ramena kesava. So we understood about the karmani aspect. Now coming back to saha ramena kesava. Atimartyani also we understood Bhagavan, Atimartyani Bhagavan, Guda Kapta Manasa, that also we understood. Now coming back to the Keshava, we'll understand. So the Keshava means here specifically it is used because first point is Ka and Isha and Va, that is one type of meaning of Keshava. Keshava has so many meanings, which is Ka means Brahma, Isha means Lord Shiva, A, Ka, A, Isha and Va. A means Lord Vishnu, who is in the middle. When you put Tilak, Brahma is on the left, right side is Lord Shiva, and in the middle is Lord Vishnu, where there is no space. There shouldn't be anything in the middle of the Tilak on the top portion. So Lord Vishnu is in the middle. So the Keshava, who is the controller of Brahma and Shiva, and everything is sustained. The Va means everything is sustained by the Supreme Lord. That's why it's Keshava. Another meaning, who has a beautiful black hair. That is also called Keshava. Another meaning is one who killed Kesi demon. In this specific instance, here purposefully used, and we see that it relates to so many, because Ati Matyani Bhagavan, couple of pastimes it is related to. So that I don't know, we'll see the time already, I think late. So much to discuss on this. We may have to do part 3 maybe. So this Keshava is used, and then they are talking about superhuman activities. So these specific word Keshava and then Atimatyani together, and then also the Guda Kapata Manusha as an ordinary human being. So couple of pastimes. First one is the killing Kesi demon, that comes into picture. It also comes into the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahma thought Krishna is an ordinary coward boy, and he is acting as an ordinary human being. That he himself got bewildered. That also comes into that. And also Indra got also bewildered. The lifting over, the Krishna lifting, that becomes superhuman activities. Even Brahma Vimohan Leela also superhuman activities. Nobody could understand, even Balaram could not understand. By Yogamaya, Krishna's potency, Balaram also nobody could understand, including Balaram. That's why when Brahma stole the calves and cows and poor boys, Balaram was not there that day. Balaram's birthday, so his mother told, no, you stay home, I have to nicely give a bath, nicely dress you and decorate you and feed you, you have to stay home. So everybody else went. And then when Brahma came back to his senses after 1 year, our time 1 year, his is only 1 minute. When he came back to his senses, he understood how Krishna is expanded and everything what happened. Then that day also Balaram was not there because exactly 1 year. So the Balaram's birthday again. So his mother Rohini, she didn't allow him to go. So both days, but just before 5 days before, only Balaram was feeling difference. What exactly is happening? Why is so much intensity and so much blissful and happiness? So much is going on. Something is different here. Some mystic, some Maya. But this must be Krishna's Maya agency is working. Yoga Maya. Then he asked Balaram asked Krishna, and then Krishna explained it. Just 5-6 days before Brahma came to his consciousness. So in this way, that also from that we understand superhuman activities. Because Krishna expanded himself into all of them, the cows, the cowherd boys, and there are two different reasons. One is to teach lesson to Brahma, but also another reason is also actually some of the elderly gopis, they are seeing Yashoda nicely as a motherly, as a mother, treating as an Vatsalya so much in love with Krishna. So they also felt, oh, if Krishna becomes my son, it will be so wonderful. They have an inner deep absorption of Krishna being the son. Then Krishna also fulfilled that desire of them also. So sometimes that's why by seeing externally things, we may think, oh, why Lord Rama killed Bali in this way, or why this happened that way. We see externally, or we hear in Doordarshan, or we hear from somebody in internet, and then we come up to conclusion. We have all kinds of ideas and doubts. So that's why the karma is very intricate, because Krishna always, whenever he does activities, with one shot, so many things he fulfills. So many purposes get resolved. So it's not just what we see, Pratyaksha Praman, what we see is in the reality. There are so many underlying factors will be there. We have to consider. We shouldn't come to conclusion. It shouldn't be, our bhakti shouldn't be like Ekalavya. It should be like Arjuna. There should be a proper worship of a spiritual master and proper respect, proper faith, and then proper understanding why we are worshipping. It is not for our own benefit. So it is for our progress to establish, to develop our relationship with Krishna through the bona fide spiritual master. It shouldn't be for our own material benefits to become powerful or anything like that. So there is a big difference. Otherwise, materially, everybody will claim Karna is great or Eklavya is great, and so many ideas will come. Duryodhana is great, Arjuna is nothing. All these thoughts, so many thoughts are out there in this world. So this is all, this is not going to help. Those kind of thoughts, those kind of reading or hearing from unauthorized sources, it's not going to help. Rather, it's going to create conflicts and chaos and confusion in our hearts, unwanted things. Coming back to the Keshava, described the Kesi demon, black, beautiful black hair, and many other meanings are also there. So we'll get into the actual details of the Kesi demon. The Kesi, each of these demons, almost there are, I don't know, more than 20, or even further, maybe 30 or so. All of them has a specific reason when they are appearing, and they have a specific, some of them are being mentioned, some of them may not be directly mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam or directly main Puranas. It could be mentioned in Upa Purana or somewhere else in the subsidiary literatures, Agama Shastras or different other literatures. What their previous life is, who these demons are, we'll try to understand. Some of them are described. So this first one will go to the Kesi demon, because here Krishna, this Kesi demon is Kamsa is sending one by one demon every day, sending different demons. So Krishna, the Kamsa this time also sent horse demon, Kesi demon. Kesi demon represents those who are feeling proud, material pride, lording it over the material nature, and thinking that I am great personality, so I am a great devotee, great acharya, falsely thinking, trying to lording it over, so and become materially proud of our or the superiority. Sometimes as devotees, as we grow, as we read and hear and do services, then we become proud of our knowledge, proud of our services. Because if you understand actual the realization, actual thing, who has given the position? If you remove that position, the title, whatever has been given, certain position we have been given, then if you remove that, what will happen? Like if you are a director of a company or vice president, suddenly we have been removed from that position, we are put into ordinary developer. What will happen? People will worship, people will feel the same way, and they will communicate with you in the same way. It will be much different. So that's why we have to, sometimes we have to come out of those positions. Always we should be in the servant of devotee, Krishna as devotees, but it is not possible all the time. Sometimes we may feel, so I'm doing great job, I'm in this position, I'm a great devotee, or I'm a great leader in this way. So that's why it sometimes we have to, that's why by serving more and more the devotees, serving, doing physical service also helps, because to come out of these tendencies. As we interact with devotees, sometimes our pride gets pride gets slashed by Supreme Lord, as he is doing in Indra Govardhan Leela. So Indra becomes so proud. He thought, who is this boy? Covered by Brahma also thought same way. Who is this boy? That's why he's offering. After he realized, came back to him. The first thing he told, because he was bewildered, because Krishna is eating in left hand yogurt rice, and he is running towards the calves. And we will have to go deeper. So maybe let's come back to it. The KC demon. So I was talking about the KC demon. So otherwise we will lose our actual points. So the KC demon, I was telling, the illusion of being a great devotee, lording it over others, and material pride. So thinking that more expert than others, thinking, proclaiming our own superiority than others, developing disrespect for Lord and devotees. This is the main. So what it means is the false ego. False ego is the one which is causing arriving attachment from the wealth and the material pride. So that is what, because with that position, whatever, from the company or the temple or from the community, wherever we work, wherever we do some service, community service or volunteers or whatever. So we may have certain positions. So we might become proud with all that wealth and the knowledge and our service. So that is representing by this KC demon. And KC demon was in the past life. He was KC and also Bakasur and also Pralambasur. These three brothers was Suhotra, Gandharva in the previous life, disciple of Durvasa Muni. So one time they go to a place in a demigod planet, I think heavenly planets. They pick up blue lotuses, nice lotuses, where actually Lord Shiva and then Durga Devi is worshipping to Krishna, Lord Krishna, offering these lotuses. And there are only certain number, 100,000 lotuses every day. She took some vow to offer every day 100 lotuses for the next 100 days or something like that. The Lord Shiva, it has been told, and the Lord Shiva promised, I will bring those lotuses to you for your worship, Lord Krishna. And then these three personalities, especially KC demon, has taken up these lotuses, some of the lotuses for his own pleasure, picked up. Then Lord Shiva has seen that, and then so obviously because he has given the promise to Durga Devi, then he cursed, Lord Shiva cursed him to become a demon. But he also gave a blessing that you will be delivered when you will come in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So that's why, even though Kamsa is sending various personalities, demons, these are various anarthas, demons representing from our heart, it has to be removed. So it's coming down. So what will happen? The KC demon as a horse demon is coming with so fast, and his horse, neighing with so much huge sound, and became like almost a huge horse, not ordinary material horse we see. Huge horse, and its tail is touching the cloud. Tails is scattering the clouds in the sky. Can you imagine? Is making so much huge sound. Is running with so much speed. And as he saw, and Krishna saw, while this horse, the KC demon is coming, this horse coming down to create a great havoc. And immediately, Krishna saw that, and then Krishna ready to fight. Then Krishna seized this horse, and then KC demon also tried to, the horse, we have tried to kick Lord Krishna with his two legs strongly, because these demons are very strong, not ordinary personalities. So much mystic powers are there, and then tried to hit Krishna, and then Krishna caught those two legs like a Garuda catching a snake and throwing it, and Krishna caught it and then whirled it and threw it 100 meters distance. And then again, KC demon was lost confidence a little bit, and then again regained his strength and confidence, came back again with full force. So this time also again Krishna caught him, and then he opened his mouth. Horse wants to swallow. The demon wants to swallow Krishna. He opened, so became gigantic and opened the mouth. Then what Krishna did? He put his left arm in the mouth of the horse, and that what happened with that hand became so red hot. It became hot and hot and hot, and then he got choked up. He couldn't even breathe. So Krishna pushed the hand all the way to the throat. So he got choked up, and it was so hot. And then immediately he lost his breath. He fell down. In this way, we see that. So the horse is coming out, exhibiting proudly. I am great. I have great powers. Try to create fear among all those who are there present. Cohort boys, cows and calves, all those elderly cohort men. So this is what is happening. So by this, KC demon, that's why in the Bhagavad Gita also we were discussing yesterday how it is mentioned. Also there also KC, Keshava is used, because whenever we have doubts, that also sometimes this word is used, Keshava. So killing that demon like KC, killing those doubts, removing our anarthas from our heart. So as we read more and more, then we will be able to understand, and we will be able to remove our actual anarthas from our heart of this kind of illusion and superiority complex, lording it over. So the material nature thinking of our possessions and wealth. So this is the one aspect of this one of the demon. Along with that, in the same chapter, this is 37th chapter, I think, there is also another demon called Vyomasur. So the Krishna and Balaram and all the cowherd boys are playing. So this time, every day is a different activity, not same activity. This is in Bhagavatam when Krishna is exhibiting. Then we understand. We think, how bhakti can be so blissful, we think. But if you look at the pastime, we can see how much variegatedness is, the variety is there. This time, this day they are playing. They want to become one. Some of them became sheep, some of them became shepherds, some of them become thieves. So stealing these sheep. So these are the three. So they divided themselves, the cowherd boys divided themselves into three different groups. And then some became sheep, some became shepherds, some became thieves. So this Vyomasur came as a cowherd boy, taking the role of a cowherd boy. First of all, Vyomasur is being represented stealing others' property, thief. The first, this anartha from our heart is stealing others' property. Even as devotees also, many times this happens. First of all, as I have seen, in the companies I have seen, in the communities I have seen, As leaders, we obviously see every day political leaders, they do this, stealing others' property. Even as devotees also, especially from a temple, not a single penny we should take at any cost, at any time, for anything. Rather, we should give, but at any time, at any cost, we shouldn't take a single penny. By mistake, if we got it, then we have to return it. So we have to be very careful. And if it is prasad, we can take definitely. If somebody gives a garland, all those things we can definitely, there is no problem. But in terms of the money or any resources, if it is unoffered things, without asking, without somebody giving, we shouldn't take. This is the biggest offense. So this is not going to help in our spiritual progress. So we have to be careful. We have to utilize whatever is there in the temple. We must utilize carefully. It shouldn't be inappropriately utilized for our own enjoyment. The things are there for Krishna's enjoyment, especially in temple. In home, as you can do, if you are not following bhakti, what can be done? We do whatever we like for our own enjoyment. But when it comes to temple, then we must be very careful how we utilize, how we see things. Everything must be in relation with Krishna. We have to see, observe. If something is not pleasing or appropriate for Krishna's pleasure, then we must correct it. We must try to, we must bring it to the attention of the authority. We have to observe. Otherwise, the same thoughts will go. That's why when the mind is clean, we observe the reflection, the thoughts, then we know what's happening. Otherwise, we'll just go on with the flow. We don't know what's happening also. Whether Prabhupada has garland, whether Tulsi Maharani is properly worshipped, properly kept. All these things we don't know. People, devotees will go, but come back just like nothing happened. You went, you don't even know what does Krishna is wearing. If you ask, he has taken darshan, we will not even know what does he is wearing. How is he looking like? What is he wearing? Whether he has a flute, whether he has a stick, whether the bugle he has. So we will not know. But more and more, that's why the details are important. The consciousness with which we are looking at, absorption is very important when we come to temple. It helps us more meditating on Lord Krishna and his paraphernalia and his expansions and his representatives, spiritual master, Founder Acharya and Tulsi Maharani. We offer our obeisances whenever we go there to Tulsi Maharani and Sri Prabhupada and then Supreme Lord. So this is very mandatory, because otherwise Krishna will not be pleased. We might do so much gorgeous worship of Supreme Lord. When Tulsi Maharani is not worshipped properly and when his representative is not worshipped, then Krishna will not be pleased. So that we have to understand this. As here Vyomasur is representing cheating propensity, especially the stealing others' property. Stealing others' property and then speaking lies. And this also we see that it's a tendency. So the stealing others' property obviously happens also in the companies. We see sometimes companies' property we utilize. As devotees also we have to see, make sure that we don't take it granted. We don't utilize the devotee. He is there, the devotee only. Let me utilize him for my own personal. Obviously, it's a nice relationship if they want to offer. But even if somebody offered genuinely, you want to take help, you can ask genuinely. Can you help? That's good. But we shouldn't be unnecessarily, we shouldn't be just thinking, is the devotee anyway, I can use his services. No. Devotee is Krishna's property. Devotee is Guru's property. So if we are taking his help, then we should also render service to him before or after. That is always mutual. In general, it is Shastra is mentioning that. When serving, yes, that's why when you give gifts to others, what they will do? At some point or time in the life, they will also give gift back to you. Because that is the exchange, always. And we shouldn't just simply take on and enjoy for ourselves. So the same thing, when you hear Vyomasur is being expressed as stealing others' property. Means using it for our own personal enjoyment. Whether it's devotees or non-devotees also, we should be careful about these things. Stealing others' property, utilizing. You ask, you request, that's good. But we shouldn't take it for granted. Devotee means, yeah, I can use him for my service, for my personal service, for temple service, guru service, Krishna service, yes, you can do whatever, yes, definitely. Sankirtan, all these aspects, it is mentioned as Samyak iti, Kirtan. It is together. People have to come together. People have to come together to help to serve the Lord, to please the Lord. Then obviously that time, definitely yes. But when it comes to our personal use, definitely you should. So that's why we see that in Chaitanya Leela, Gaur Leela also very much. All the examples. Always we should put ourselves in the front to serve Krishna, but put ourselves when it comes to our personal preference, that should be later. First we have to see, is the Lord being fed at proper time? Then we come to our thing. Means if the devotees are there, then we should try to feed them, try to serve them first before, oh, let me take prasad first before them. That's not a good process. We have to understand these lessons. We have to take instructions. These are the proper Vaishnava etiquette, means we have to see. So if you are in a hurry, that's a different story. But as much as possible, we should always, the etiquette is to serve the devotees before we take. As Govinda Das, servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is showing, he crossed crossed the body of Mahaprabhu to serve him, to massage him, to massage his feet and whatnot, to personal service of the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, he didn't go for prasad. Mahaprabhu told, go and take prasad. But Mahaprabhu slept in a way where he cannot even cross over. But Govinda Das, then he thought, that is for my personal. I have to eat, that is for my personal own thing. Then I shouldn't cross, that becomes an offense. Crossing the Lord for my own personal thing, that's not good. So that is what is being exhibited in that particular pastime, that why we shouldn't use for our own personal benefit, we shouldn't utilize the Lord, we shouldn't cross the Lord, we shouldn't make those offenses. So this way we see that in Vyamasur's case, it is stealing others' property, because he thought this cowherd boy became calves, the sheep and shepherds, and some became thieves. Oh, they became already thieves, so it becomes much easier to become. So he also became a cowherd boy. This demon became a cowherd boy, went and mixed with them, and Krishna watching. Who is this boy come? And then he tried to do the same thing, because already some of them are stealing, and some of them became thieves, so stealing some of the sheep. So then he thought, then let me become and do this. Then he started entering, and then he entered as a cowherd boy, and then he started stealing all of them, some of them, and put it in a cave, and closing with a big boulder, where they cannot even come out from that caves. In this way, already he took some of the cowherd boys, and then immediately Krishna saw what's happening. Then Krishna came, and then immediately changed his body, and then Krishna also seized him, and so immediately caught him, and then Vyamasur was also killed. And then this Vyamasur, in the previous life, is son of Mayasur, but in the previous life is called Bhimarata from Varanasi. And he was cursed by Pulastya. He was cursed by Pulastya. He was also doing something. I didn't write down, I think looks like it. Yeah. So with Pulastya Muni cursed. He was a king, Bhimarata, king from Varanasi, I remember. So he retired and he went to the forest, and he was in a hermitage. And then that's when Pulastya Muni comes there with his disciples are alone, and then he didn't recognize the Muni. He didn't properly worship Muni at all. So that is the proper etiquette. So then immediately Pulastya says, you don't have a proper quality to be in this forest. You don't even have a basic etiquette. Then he is being condemned and become a demon. Then obviously also give. Whenever these Muni sages curse, then also give blessings. So they are being blessed. Also you will be blessed by Krishna's association later on in future. Then you will be able to come out of your this demoniac form. So that's why it is mentioned here, Vyomasur is representing this mentality of stealing others' property and speaking lies. Let me see. Yeah, that is what this Vyomasur. This is one chapter where KC demon and Vyomasur, Krishna killed him. Then he went back to cowherd boys where they stole. Then Krishna brought them all those. Krishna broke those big boulders what they kept into pieces. Krishna has full potency. He is at 5 years old. All these incidents are happening at 4 and 5 years old. Brahma Vimohan Leela happened at 60-year-old. It happened actually at 5-year old when Krishna and Balaram. But they described that at 6th year. After 1 year only they described. Because they have been stolen anyway, brought back. It's been 1 year. After that, when they brought back, then they told what happened. So this is the 6th year. This has happened, and this one I think so there also it is mentioned that before that there is a Rasa Leela which comes in between 10th canto, very high grade pastimes, intense pastimes, deep. There's a Madhurya Leela which we are not at the level to understand. We will not discuss that. I just want to bring the point. Acharya has explained. There are some demons being killed 20 or so before this pastime happened, before the 25th to 29th, I think, Rasa Panchadya, 5 chapters describing the very confidential pastimes of the Supreme Lord. But before that, these demons. So, unless these anarthas are being cut, removed from the heart, we cannot enter into that rasa. So that means we have to purify, we have to come to the prema bhakti stage, bhava bhakti and prema bhakti stage in order for us to become qualified to enter into that rasa. That is what Acharya is expressing some of these demons, various Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, various, each demon represents as we are describing, these 2 demons we discussed. And then after there are few demons after this pastime also that represent also sometimes we may get proud. So even the Bhava Bhakti also sometimes we may fall down. Minute we think we are great devotee. Oh, Krishna has given me chance to be with him. Oh, Krishna is with me. I am great. I am great personality. So then that also brings down. So that level, even at the highest level also, we can fall down. So by our offensive mentality, so that second set of few demons are being covered after the Rasa Panchadhyaya, some of the demons. So that is described as some other anarthas are being covered in that. In this way, so all the anarthas, not a single anartha we should have in order for us to become fully purified, enter into the spiritual world. Already 9:05. So I think we will stop here. Any questions so far? Because this is a big topic of